the day AutoMax was formed, Ernie and I, my ex-business partner, and a guy by the name of Gene Romo, who was the other first trainer in the company, hopped in my 82 Benz, and we drove out to Ohio and said, we're going to start a company called AutoMax Recruiting and Training. And it was at Montrose Toyota, and I had 7 students in the class. One was a 19-year-old kid. You guys have 19-year-old kids in your class?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't remember what this kid did for a living, but what do most 19-year-olds do for a living? Fast food, nothing, live off mom and dad, right? Or whatever the case might be. This 19-year-old, 14 years later, on tape, is now, he runs what? He's responsible for 5 stores.
5 stores, they call it a campus. They're all together, pretty much.
At 19 years old, started in our class. The other day on Internet Group 20, it's a Ning site like Dealer Elite and what's the other one? Automotive Digital Marketing. Joanna posted a chapter from the book. I'm going to give a few of these away. Signed, right? The signed ones, but don't cost as much. Joanna posted the chapter I wrote in the book. This kid answered, his name's Jermaine something. I forget his last name, Wilson, I think. And he says, I'm giving this to everybody, I'm forwarding this to all management staff throughout the entire organization. I don't know this guy from the man in the moon. I said, great. I said, that's a chapter from the book called The Unfair Advantage. Send me your private email me your home mailing address, I'll send you a signed copy. He sends me his address via email, and he says, I just want to let you know, I went through an AutoMax training class in 2000 at Hendrick, and I owe everything to you and your company. How many stories are there like that? How many stories? Now, I don't know the rest of this guy's story. This guy's a young African-American man. I don't know what he did before. But what if this guy had been at the very edge, this Jermaine Wilson, at the very edge, when he answered whoever interview he went through in 2000, that's 12 years ago. Whoever interviewed that person, if he hadn't given him an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to invite you back to class. If he had not said no, what would have happened to that person? No telling. So he invited him back into class. When he got into class, he gave him the tools to be successful. Oh, yes. And 12 years later, we reconnect. Now, what's happened to his family? Are his children dressed better? Do they have better housing? Do they have a better automobile? Do they have money put away for a college fund for their children or their grandchildren? And then, what generation will be affected after that? Could another generation be affected? You bet. And yet another, and yet another. So even though they're coming in for a job, and they are coming in for jobs, and we got to get them jobs. But we got to give them the tools that can positively affect and change not only their lives, but the lives of their families and generations going forward. And if we're not doing that, we're just carpetbaggers in the marketplace.